In war, the math is usually simple. You have the numbers, you have the advantage, you win the day. But sometimes you run into a soldier who completely breaks the math. Today we're talking about a guy who walked into a wall of fire, single handedly cleared a nest of resistance, and made the impossible look routine. We're heading to the dark forests of France in 1944 to meet Staff Sergeant Lucian Adams. If you thought Corporal Abrell's lone charge on 487 with a live grenade in his hand was intense, wait until you see what Adams did when he found himself face to face with an entire German company. Lucian Adams was born in Port Arthur, Texas. He had that grit baked into him from day one. He joined the Army in 1943, and by the fall of 1944, he was a staff sergeant with the 30th Infantry Regiment. By October of 44, the Allied advance in France had slowed to a crawl in the Vosges Mountains. The terrain was dense, the weather was miserable, and the Germans were dug in deep. It was the kind of fighting that breaks people. But Adams, he was just getting warmed up. October 28, near Saint-Die, Adams' company had a critical, high-stakes mission they were tasked with, forcing a breakthrough in the German lines to open up a path for the rest of their battalion. The objective was a fortified sector that the enemy had turned into a literal fortress of machine guns and sniper nests. The company moved out, but they were almost immediately stalled by a ferocious, concentrated German defense. They were pinned down, they'd lost their communication, and they were taking heavy casualties. It was a textbook dead end. Most guys would have hunkered down and waited for reinforcements that weren't coming. Adams decided to end the stalemate himself. He grabbed a Browning automatic rifle and launched into a one-man assault. He didn't just rush the position, he sprinted straight at them. He wiped out one machine gun nest, then another, and then a third. He was moving so fast and firing with such precision the enemy couldn't even get a bead on him. By the time he was done, he had killed 9 Germans, captured 2, and completely broken the back of the German resistance in that sector. He single-handedly cleared a path for his entire battalion. When the smoke cleared, his fellow soldiers couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. For his actions, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. And what I love about Adams' story is the sheer audacity of it. In this series, we've talked about Cushing at Gettysburg, how he held his intestines in and ordered his men to load that cannon and fire. And Abrell in Korea, who pulled that pin on that live grenade and jumped in that machine gun nest with those North Korean and Chinese soldiers. Different conflicts, different tactics, but they all shared that same switch that flips when things get desperate. Lucian Adams proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon on the battlefield isn't a tank or a plane. It's one man with a clear mission and the guts to see it through. Not to mention a BAR. Lucian Adams came home a hero, and he spent the rest of his life as a quiet pillar of his community in Texas. If you missed our episode on Charles Gene Abrell, Corporal Abrell back in Korea, go back in the archive. You'll see that same never say die attitude that defines Adams' day in the Vosges. My name's Kenny. This is Gallantry in Action. I'll see you next time. Stay legendary.